and especially he was not taking it. From nowhere, started forming accents. My mom apologized to your ass. Ebuka trying to stop them from continuing the conversation. He was trying to shut Frodd up. Frodd, it's okay. Ebuka was talking to the camera unit that, can we end this?
Big Brother Naija Pepperdem reunion show.
What up, guys? How you doing? You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Funke Oshin. Thank you so much for joining me right now. So, guys, it is another day of the Big Brother Naija reunion show for the Pepperdem gang, and I'm here, of course, to bring you the gist of what's happened in case you missed it. But before then, guys, let me put out this disclaimer there because someone commented in one of my videos for the past 3 days that I've been bringing to you guys the reunion gist and update that I should have just posted the video instead of doing this nonsense narration. Guys, in case you don't know, this is just a narration for you guys who missed it. I cannot post the video on here because the content is not mine. The least I can do to help you guys who missed out is to come gist you, and I try as much as possible not to leave any information out. So that's just it. So right now, guys, I'm gonna be bringing to you the gist of day 4 of Big Brother Naija Pepperdem reunion. There you go.
Big Brother Naija Pepperdem reunion show.
Alright, guys, so this episode started with the preview of Jerry's session. They showed us some clips, and then the one that caught my attention so much and that made me miss the diary sessions at the house was Omashola's moment. It was like, he was having a chat with his worry gang, Of course, you guys remember how Omashola was in the house. So when they came back to the studio, Ebuka asked Omashola that, Omashola, you were more like a reporter then, everything that happens, you just go to Big Brother and all that, and you just point out to him. And so to answer this, Omashola was like, he saw Biggie as a dad, and he felt like he could speak to him about anything, that whatever is going on, he saw Big Brother as that person that he could go to and talk to him. So Big Brother was more like a dad that if he says go to the garden, you have no right to argue, just go there. So he had a lot of respect for him in the diary room. So at this point, Jackie decided to drop something, and she was trying to compare Omashola with somebody else. We were talking about those that spent a lot of time in the Big Brother house. So she was like, Omashola and this other person. They were like, can't you mention the person's name? So she now said the Omashola and the Parrot Party. But then everybody was able to decipher that she was talking about Kafi. So she couldn't call Kafi's name. She called her Parrot Party, and she said that Kafi used the diary session to smear other people, to gossip about other people. Then at this point, Ebuka was like, diary session is a time for you. Diary room is a place you can go for you to be free. Diary session is a time for you to let go of anything in your heart and just talk to somebody. If you're having a bad vibe about somebody, diary session is where to go. So it was like, no one should be angry that Kafi did that. So that was Ebuka's response to what Jackie said. But before Jackie called Kafi Parrot Party, Venita interjected when she was trying to look for a name. Venita interjected and called Kafi Parrot first. Then Jackie took it up and said Parrot Party. So definitely Ebuka had to throw the question to Venita to know why she said Kafi was a parrot. But then Venita didn't really say anything negative. She just said that she believed that Kafi utilized the diary session fully, which was a good thing to say and which was a good thing to do. Seyi also interjected and said that he was sure that anytime it was Kafi's turn to go to diary session, people that was just going to be like, oh my god, it's this girl's turn. Okay. Now at this point, there was a clip of the housemates, saying how they see Biggie. So Nelson said Biggie is a strong politician. Kimapa said that she didn't think Biggie liked her, and when she was asked why she felt so, she said Big Brother didn't make her comfortable to talk to him. Even though she spent just 3 days, she said she felt like Big Brother was too harsh, was too strict while she was in the house during the diary sessions, because she said everybody is not the same. Some people easily open up to people. Some people love conversations, but there are some people that you have to give them time before they can open up to you. And she felt like Vicky was just harsh, like, how do you feel today? Okay, that just made her feel that people that didn't like her. This was the start of the main conversation for this episode, because now everyone had to talk about Biggie. So as I see if this one was just express how you feel about Biggie. So at this point, Jackie came in and she said that she feels people who had longer time, because Kimapa said her diary sessions were always short, and that made her feel bad that people that didn't like her. So Jackie said she was so sure that people who had longer time in the diary session, people who spent longer time in the diary session, had watched the previous people that shows, and they got to know that you have to, win people's heart in diary session. That whatever you give people in diary session is what will probably sell you. And she personally didn't know that she had to sell herself in the diary session, but she was certain that those who spent a long time in diary session watched the previous people that shows. So at this point, of course, we all know that Mashallah has always been saying that he has never ever watched any Big Brother show. So at this point, he had to, come in to justify himself and to clear himself. And he said he had never watched any Big Brother Naija show. That if he had watched it, he would have known that people, the viewers take the diary session seriously, and he would have probably not said some things that he said. For example, he said the people's the kids he talked about and their moms he talked about at the in the diary session, that he would probably have not talked about that if he knew that that moment was a moment that viewers always look forward to watch. So he said it was just there being himself talking to somebody like a father. Then Frodd said whatever you were in the diary session is not because of Big Brother, it is probably because of who you are. And then that he believes that Big Brother already prepared them for what they were going to see, because before the diary session, we would have called them and spoke with them, and he felt that was like a preparation. So if he used people that already prepared them, that if you're going for an audition, of course you prepare for the audition. So if people that tells you that be yourself and be free, of course he has already prepared you. That so if you go into the diary session and you were dull or you were quiet, it is on you and not on Big Brother. Then people can talk about some people having crush on Big Brother. So there was a little flashback of Mercy and Kafi, and both of them were just gushing about Big Brother. And when you are on when you meet someone on the internet and you've not met and you're just talking on the phone, and they were just like, oh. So they were really, really, really crushing on Big Brother. So when they came back to the studio, by the way, in this edition, Tacha, Mercy, and Ike joined virtually. They were not in the studio. So Mercy answered from the screen that she just loved Big Brother's voice. The Big Brother's voice was cute, and she would love her boyfriend to have that kind of voice. At this point, everyone started laughing, and everyone was like, "Are you shitting somebody?" But because of course we know that Mercy and Ike have something together. We don't know if they still do, but then so it was like, are you shooting somebody right now? And everybody busted into laugh. Now, at this point, the housemates were asked, who did you vent about a lot in the Big Brother house? Now, Nelson, Serdi, and Omashola said he vented to Biggie about Frodd. Diane said she vented about Omashola because Omashola was always loud. Then Seyi said he vented about Tacha. Frodd said he vented. Now, a clip was shown of Frodd really, really venting to Big Brother and saying somebody was a coward or something like that. Then Ibuka asked Frodd what he meant by that. So Frodd said 3 people fell into that category, and that is Mike, Seyi, and Omashola, I think. Omashola was the third person he said. So he said that Seyi took advantage of his mom's story, that Seyi knew about what happened to his mom, about his mom's surgery, and he told Seyi that he doesn't know how he would feel when he goes out, that he doesn't want to see his mom, and things like that. And he feels that Seyi took advantage of that because when Seyi was always, anytime he, gets saved on the eviction day, he was always happy, and then she would come to him and say sweet words to him and say, you're not going anywhere, your mom is proud of you and all that, only for Frodd to go out after the show and to see clips, and we saw that she was always saying something different behind his back, and she was actually nominating him in the house. So that caused a huge fight. It was then at some point he said that anyway, Seyi's mom apologized on Seyi's behalf after the show, and it's when Seyi wasn't taking it. She was angry, and from nowhere started forming accent. My mom apologized to your ass? What are you saying? How would you say my mom apologized to your ass? Everybody in my family know me and they know that I stand up to my own shit. So that's when they were going back and forth, and they just had to end the edition. So that was where the today's episode, the day 4 of People That Naija Pepperdem reunion ended. Frodd and Seyi, going back and forth and trying to clear some conversation. And obviously, when they showed us the next episode, like I don't know whether it's coming up next, but then after the show, they showed us a particular some clips, like probably bloopers. Yes, I think it's their bloopers. So we saw Frodd and Seyi, even despite the fact that Ebuka has ended the show. We see Frodd and Seyi, going back and forth, and Ebuka trying to stop them from continuing the conversation. He was trying to shut Frodd up. Frodd, it's okay. Ebuka was talking to the camera unit that can we end this? So it got very hot, and I hope I'm really looking forward to them showing us in the next episode. But I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's the much. I wasn't really any kind of fire like that in today's episode, but then it was still fun. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna see you next time, and I think this is the last episode for this week. If there's another one tomorrow, trust me, I'm gonna show up in your faces tomorrow. And if that's the end for this week, I'm going to see you definitely next week, Monday. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Comment down below, let me know if you're following the show. Let me know if you are following my update too. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. My name is Funke, and I will see you next time. Bye.